My brother stole thousands from me, and my parents defended him. I never thought my own brother would betray me like that. Growing up, we were close, or at least I thought we were. I'm 26 now, and my younger brother, Matt, is 22. I moved out when I was 19 to work full-time and save for a house. I've always been the responsible one in the family, the one who pays bills on time, who shows up for family dinners, who doesn't get into trouble. Matt, on the other hand, has always been the golden child. Even when he failed classes or crashed my dad's car, there was always some excuse. He's just stressed. He's still growing. You should be more supportive, Jake. That's what I'd hear from my parents. Every time. I kept my head down, worked 2 jobs, and finally saved up enough for a down payment. I had about $27,000 in a savings account, not a fortune. But everything I had, that money was sacred. It was the key to finally owning something of my own. I had been looking at homes for months, obsessing over listings, calculating mortgage estimates. I was so close. Then it disappeared. I checked my account one Friday morning and saw that my balance was $112.78. I thought it was some kind of bank error. I called them in a panic, hoping it was just a mistake. But it wasn't. The woman on the phone told me the funds had been transferred to an external account the night before at 2:17 a.m. I froze. I never authorized any transfers. I demanded to know the name on the receiving account. But she said she couldn't tell me without a police report. So I filed one that day. It wasn't until 2 days later that the truth came out. My brother had used my laptop when I visited our parents' house the weekend before. I'd logged into my bank account and forgotten to log out. The cops traced the IP address of the transfer to my parents' house. And the name on the receiving account? Matthew T. Matt's full name. When I confronted him, I expected denial, maybe even tears. What I got instead was a smirk. You weren't even gonna use it all. You've got time. I needed it now, like it was no big deal. Like he borrowed a hoodie, not my life savings. I was stunned. I turned to my parents, expecting them to back me up. Instead, my mom stepped in front of him like a human shield. Jake, calm down. It's not like he stole it. He's your brother. He transferred my money into his account without asking. What do you call that? He was in trouble. He owed money, Jake. He could have gotten hurt. I almost laughed. Could have gotten hurt? What about me? What about my future? I told them I was pressing charges. That's when my dad got involved. You'd really do that to your own brother? After all we've done for you? I left without another word. 2 days later, Matt posted a picture on Instagram from Cancun. Cancun. The photo from Cancun haunted me. Matt had his arm around some girl I didn't recognize, a cocktail in one hand, his signature shit-eating grin on full display. The caption read, "Sometimes you just gotta escape the drama, blessed." The comments were even worse. "You deserve it, bro. Let the haters hate. Get that Sun King." I felt physically sick. That was my money he was drinking. I called my parents that night. My mom picked up after a few rings, already sounding tired, like I was the one causing trouble. "What is it now, Jake? You said Matt needed the money. He's in freaking Cancun." There was a long pause, then a sigh. He needed a break. He's been under a lot of stress. With whose money? Mom. I worked for 5 years to save that. That money was for my house. Jake, please. You're making this more dramatic than it needs to be. It's not like we can undo it now. That was it. That was their stance. No apology. No accountability. Just get over it. I hung up. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at my ceiling until sunrise, going over every memory I had of my family. Every birthday I showed up to. Every time I lent Matt gas money, every time I helped clean out the garage, or fixed my dad's old truck. None of it meant anything to them. I filed an official police report the next day. The officer assigned to my case was a woman named Detective Ruiz. She was calm and straightforward, but when she asked if I wanted to pursue charges, I hesitated. Not because I doubted what happened Matt absolutely stole from me, but because of how the rest of my family would react. "Jake," she said, "we don't usually see people walk away from this much money. Are you sure?" I nodded. "He took everything. I want him held responsible." The investigation moved quickly. My bank provided the transfer logs, complete with timestamps and IP data. It was airtight. A week later, I got a call from Ruiz. "We're bringing him in for questioning. Be prepared. This might get messy." Messy was an understatement. My phone exploded. First it was texts from Matt. Seriously, Jake? You're ruining my life over some cash? You're such a fing narc. You always hated me. Admit it. Then came the texts from my mom. This isn't the way. Please. We can work this out as a family. You're tearing this family apart. What if he gets a record? What will that do to his future? I couldn't take it. I blocked them all. Then my dad showed up at my apartment. I didn't even know how he got the address. He banged on the door for 5 full minutes. When I finally opened it, he looked angrier than I'd ever seen him. What the hell are you doing, Jake? I'm doing what you should have done. Holding him accountable. He's your brother. You don't throw your own blood in jail. He's not just my brother. He's a grown-ass man who stole over $27,000 from me. And you're standing here yelling at the victim like I'm the criminal. You need to drop the charges. Now. I shut the door in his face. I couldn't believe it. My entire family had picked a side, and it wasn't mine. The worst part? I was starting to feel like maybe they were right. Maybe I was being too harsh. Maybe I should have let it go. Maybe family was more important than money. But then I looked at my empty bank account, my busted old car, my tiny one-bedroom apartment that I could barely afford. And I remembered how hard I had worked for every single dollar he threw away. That's when I decided, no, I'm not backing down. Not this time. Matt was officially charged with felony theft 2 weeks later. He was released on bail the same day, paid by, of course, my parents. The next time I saw him was in court. He wouldn't even look at me. He sat next to his lawyer in a navy blue blazer that probably still had a price tag on it. Eyes fixed ahead like I didn't exist. When the judge asked how he pleaded, he said, "Not guilty." I almost laughed. That night, I got a message from my cousin Leah, the only person in the family who'd been even halfway supportive. "I don't agree with what Matt did," she wrote. "But I think you need to know your mom's been telling people you made up the whole thing to sabotage Matt's life." That hit me like a punch to the chest. I asked for proof. She sent me a voice note someone had recorded at a family gathering. My mom's voice was clear. "Jake's always been jealous of Matt. He can't stand to see him happy. I think he set him up." I stared at my phone, numb. Set him up? They knew the money was taken. The transfers came from my account. They had the audit logs, the emails, the screenshots. This wasn't denial anymore. It was warped loyalty. And that's when the harassment began. Someone egged my car, twice. My landlord called about noise complaints. Strange, since I lived alone and barely made a sound. Then I found a note shoved under my door. "Family doesn't turn on family. Blood is blood." No signature. I started sleeping with a bat by the bed. At work, I kept my head down. My boss, Tasha, had been understanding when I asked for time off for legal stuff. But one day she pulled me into her office. "Jake, off the record? Someone called the company line pretending to be you. Said some disturbing things." I outflagged it. I felt my stomach drop. "I didn't call. I swear. I believe you. But this is getting out of hand." I couldn't prove who it was, but I had a damn good guess. Matt. The hearing was coming up, and from what Detective Ruiz told me, his lawyer was planning to argue that the money had been a gift. A gift. Almost $30,000, with no text or email ever mentioning that word. No repayment plan, no record of consent. He was grasping at straws. Still, it scared me. Because if his lawyer could spin it just right, make me look vindictive, bitter, unstable, it might work. And then he'd walk away clean, rich, protected, and I'd be the pariah. I spent every night preparing, printing emails, sorting my bank statements, highlighting the exact days I was out of town when the money started vanishing. I showed up to court like I was on trial, not him. But I was ready. When the judge asked for my statement, I stood up. My hands shook, but I didn't let it show. "Your Honor," I said, "I worked 3 jobs to save that money. My brother used my login credentials without permission, transferred it to his own account, and lied about needing it to pay rent. Instead, he flew to Cancun. He bragged about it online. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was theft." Matt's lawyer objected. "Speculation," he said. The judge waved him off. The judge looked at Matt. "Do you have anything to say?" Matt just shrugged. "He's always hated me. He's making a big deal out of this because he wants to see me fail." There it was. No apology. No explanation. Just deflection. It didn't work. The judge ordered full restitution and 6 months of probation. If he violated any condition, jail time was on the table. I thought it was over. I thought I could move on. But then my dad called. The call came the day after the ruling. I was in the middle of cleaning my tiny kitchen when my phone buzzed. Dad. I almost didn't answer, but something in me, some last, pathetic hope made me pick up. Jake, he said. His voice was tired. You didn't have to go that far. I went silent for a moment. That far? He's your brother. I know he's my brother, I said. Which made it worse. He's still family. So am I snapped. Or did that change when he drained my account and lied to my face? There was a pause. I just don't know why you'd want to ruin his life like this. That broke something in me. I leaned against the counter, trying to keep my voice steady. Ruin his life? He made the choice to steal. He could have asked me. He could have told the truth. He could have not spent it on tequila and jet skis. Dad didn't respond. I continued. And you know what hurts more than the money? That none of you care. That Mom thinks I set him up. That you're calling me like I did something wrong. He sighed. You'll understand someday when you're a father. Blood means compromise. No, I said, suddenly calm. It means protection, responsibility, and he betrayed both. So that's it. I think it has to be. I hung up before he could respond. That night, I blocked their numbers. My entire family. It felt like cutting off a limb, but it was already rotting. Months passed. Matt didn't pay back a cent of the money. The court sent him a notice, then another. Finally, a warrant was issued. They found him in Arizona, working under a fake name. He'd violated probation. He was arrested and held for 90 days. That was the last I heard of him for a long time. I started going to therapy. I learned how to sleep again. I got a new job in a new city with co-workers who knew nothing about my family. And for the first time in my life, I stopped feeling like a villain in my own story. Until the email. It arrived on a cold Friday morning just as I was settling into my new office job in Denver. No subject line. Just a sender I hadn't seen in over a year. mattthereal.nmail.com. I stared at the screen for a solid minute, unsure if I should open it. My stomach turned. Part of me wanted to delete it, block him, and forget he ever existed. But curiosity won. I clicked. Jake, I know you probably won't read this. But if you do, please don't delete it right away. I messed up. I know that now. I don't expect you to forgive me. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm writing this, except that I feel like I'm running out of people to talk to. Jail changed me. I used to think I was smarter than everyone. I thought I could lie my way out of anything. I thought if I smiled enough, people would forget the bad stuff. But when they shut that cell door behind me, and I had no phone, no parties, no Instagram followers, just concrete and metal, I started hearing my own thoughts again. I kept thinking about you, about what I did. The money was never the point. It was always about being someone. I thought having things meant I was finally worth something. But it turns out being a decent human is harder than pretending to be successful. I don't expect you to reply, or ever speak to me again. But I needed to tell someone that I see it now. I see how much I hurt you, and I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Matt, I read it twice, then 3 more times. My hands were trembling. Because for the first time in a very long time, it sounded real. It didn't fix what happened. It didn't return the money. It didn't erase the betrayal or bring back the trust he shattered. But it was something. A flicker of accountability in a story full of excuses. I didn't reply. Not then. But I printed the email and tucked it into the back of my desk drawer. And for the first time in months, I took a deep breath and let it out slowly, not in anger, not in pain, in peace. Maybe it wasn't closure. Maybe that's a myth. But it was enough to finally start moving forward. And that, to me, was worth more than $30,000 ever could be. Update. 6 months later, I never replied to Matt. I still haven't. He sent one more email, just before Christmas, no apologies this time. Just a link to a GoFundMe and a message that said, trying to start over. Don't expect anything. Just wanted to show you I'm not screwing around this time. I didn't donate, but I also didn't report the campaign as fraud, which a year ago I probably would have. People ask me if I'll ever reconnect with my family. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just tired. Sometimes peace doesn't come from fixing broken things. It comes from finally putting them down. If you like this video, please subscribe for more.